It's an electrified start for Tata Motors this year because their first launch is the Tata Punch.ev और ये डेब्यू कर रही है बिल्कुल एक नए प्लेटफॉर्म को acti.ev और acti.ev architecture as Tata Motors calls it, and this is the first model spawned on that platform. Many more are to come, but this is going to give us a proper impression of what to expect from all of them. So this is what we are going to talk about today. चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं. I'm Shubham Parashar. You're watching Park Plus Your Car app. Do subscribe to the channel, do hit the bell icon to stay notified, and to head to the app for all the updates in the Indian car bazaar. Let's get started. तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं डिज़ाइन के साथ. नाउ फेस में ही आपको काफ़ी चेंजेस देखने के लिए मिलेंगे. दो द टाटा पंच सिल्वर इज क्वाइट रिकॉग्नाइजेबल, बट इट लुक्स वे मोर एंगुलर एंड स्कल्प्टेड नाउ. Obviously you see Nexon.ev facelift inspired design cues like the full width running LED strip here. So you have DRLs here. This is the LED strip और यहाँ पे आपको connected sort of treatment देखने के लिए मिलता है. This is the area where you will be plugging in the charging cable, and the bumper itself quite chunky, very well molded and sculpted, and you have Nexon like headlights right here. So these are new projector LED units, and even the bonnet, it's been redesigned and is better sculpted now. So overall, again, it has that bold appeal, and at the same time it looks quite urban as well. Now ये तो बात हो गई हमारे फ्रंट एंड के बारे में. प्रोफाइल में देखते हैं चेंजेस क्या क्या है. Well, in profile, it's exactly the same. The only change you see here is this 16-inch aero alloy wheels. We have seen that on the Nexon as well, and .ev badge on the doors. Rear end में कुछ भी ज़्यादा बदला नहीं है. You just see a Punch.ev badge finished in black here and a chunky skid plate. But what I absolutely love is this forest green paint shade. Looks quite cool to me.
Well, the cabin is a significant step up in terms of premium appeal, courtesy the new ivory leatherette upholstery and a bucket load of new tech and features. And still, ये काफी जानी पहचानी सी लगेगी.
So on the inside, the Tata Punch.ev may look a bit familiar, courtesy its similar layout, but features department में बहुत कुछ बदल चुका है. For instance, you get a bigger 10.25-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Same unit we have seen on the Tata Nexon, comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and preloaded apps. So you have the Tata Arcade mode here, and you get AccuWeather Check, Amazon Prime, racing games, other gaming apps, Disney Hotstar, YouTube, Netflix, GeoPages, what not. So yes, quite a cool feature and loaded with apps. You can use them when the car is stationary, of course, because moving car में वो safe नहीं होता है. You also have 360-degree camera view with blind spot monitor right on the screen. So that's again a good feature to have and a good safety feature, because when you are moving the car, कोई भी smaller object होती है, animal, children, you can sight them and you can avoid bumping into them. So a nice safety feature. Blind spot monitor also helps when you're cutting through traffic or when you're parking the car. Quite like these features. And the interface itself, the UI is quite intuitive. The graphics are very crisp and sharp, and the response is also nice. So yes, quite premium the screen feels. Same thing we'll say for the 10.25-inch digital instrument cluster. Now graphics again super sharp. The interface again feels very premium, but what I like even more are the background settings. So you have 3 different background settings for the digital instrument cluster, and you have map view as well right here. Gives you all the information you need, your range information, your odo information, your mode information, your map view, everything. So again, uplifts the overall premium appeal, premium quotient of this car. And in terms of other features, it is a pretty well loaded cabin. You have ventilated seats, so the front seats are ventilated. Electric parking brake right here, auto dimming mirror, a sunroof, and obviously you have voice assisted command as well. So English features, over 80 connected car features you get here. So the Z Connect app, you can again use the app to pre-cool the car. आप बाहर से start कर सकते हैं, geo fence कर सकते हैं, and you can have all those connected features right here in this car. More features, you have wireless charging here, you have auto climate control, and I quite like that Tata has given physical buttons as well. And then what you will also love is that you get this rotary dial to select gears, and ये आपको पुराने JLR cars की याद दिलाएगा because it used to look like the same. वो pop out थे, यहाँ पे it's normal, but the finish is quite nice, and you continue to get USB charging port, 12-volt charging port, and Type-C charging port as well.
The rotary gear knob is a cool and fancy touch, but परेशानी ये है कि there is no direct shift to P or parking. इट्स अ 4-स्टेप रोटेशन जो ट्रैफिक सिग्नल्स या छोटे मोटे स्टॉप्स पे इरिटेट करता है। A single click to parking or P would have been good.
And you also have 90-degree opening for the door, so ingress egress काफ़ी easy हो जाता है। Quite like this feature। एक चीज़ जो हो सकती थी is that ऑटो डाउन तो फंक्शन मिलता है विंडो के लिए, बट ऑटो अप नहीं मिलता आपको। You will have to hold on to it। So I think this is one feature that could have been added. The steering wheel, it's the new Tata steering wheel, flat bottom, quite premium finish on the steering wheel, illuminated logo। बस एक ही इशू है कि पियानो ब्लैक सरफेस पे फिंगर मार्क्स आप ज़्यादा छोड़ सकते हैं। But again, overall, I think in terms of premium appeal, in terms of premium quotient, Tata has got that game quite right and right up there। लेकिन एक चीज़ जो अभी भी नहीं बदली है वो है इसकी पीछे की स्पेस। So let's go and check that out। So at the rear, the Tata Punch.ev is exactly the same, which means knee room काफ़ी tight है। My knees are literally brushing against the front seat, which is set at my driving position, and I am 5 feet 10 inches tall. So yes, this space really needs improvement here, but the seat is comfortable. Thigh support is good. I have a good seating position, and the window area is also decently big enough to give me a good sense of space right here. But yes, knee room that needs to improve, and also you don't have any rear AC vent, or you even don't get any charging port here at the rear. That is a miss।
That said, practicality में Punch.ev ठीक ठाक स्कोर करती है। You have decent storage in the central console and door pockets, 366 liters boot space which looks adequate to hold 2 suitcases and a few small duffel bags, and since it's an EV, a frunk under the hood जहां आप चार्जिंग केबल और पंक्चर रिपेयर किट रख सकते हैं। Yes, पंक्चर रिपेयर किट, क्योंकि कोई स्पेयर व्हील नहीं मिलता। I think that's a big miss along with the tight knee room।
But for me, what compensates for that lack of knee room is that you get 6 airbags as standard on the Tata Punch.ev. Yes, right from the base variant you have 6 airbags, and other standard features like air purifier and the front treatment like the DRLs, ये सब आपको standard मिलते हैं। And what I like even more, that since it's a Tata product, you expect a 5-star crash test rating, not only for the Punch.ev but for all the models underwent on the acti.ev platform। So जैसा शुरुआत में हमने आपको बताया था, this is where you will plug in your charger to charge the car, and using a 50 kilowatt DC fast charger will help you to charge it from 10 to 80% in just 56 minutes। और अगर आपके पास घर पे 7.2 kilowatt AC wall box charger है, then you will be able to charge this long range in just 5 hours from 10 to 100%। और जो इसकी स्टैंडर्ड रेंज है उसको आप 3.2 आवर्स में चार्ज कर सकते हैं फ्रॉम 10 to 100%। लेकिन अगर आपके पास 15A पोर्टेबल चार्जर या फिर उससे भी कम पावर का वॉल बॉक्स चार्जर घर पे है, then it will take you 13 hours to charge this long range version and 9.2 hours to charge the standard range version। और चलिए अब आपको बताते हैं about the electric setup you get in the Tata Punch.ev। So standard और long range में available है। Standard comes with a 25 kWh battery pack and a 69 kilowatt motor that belts out around 80 brake horsepower and 114 Newton meters of peak torque and has a claimed range of 315 kilometers। Now ये जो है 0 to 100 km/h की रन क्लॉक करती है 13.5 seconds, and then the long range version we are driving। Now this gets a 35 kWh battery pack and a bigger 90 kilowatt motor that belts out 120 brake horsepower and 190 Newton meters of peak torque, giving you a claimed range of 421 kilometers as per ARAI, and this thing clocks triple digit speeds or 0 to 100 km/h run in 9.5 seconds, which I think is fairly quick।
And then बैटरी IP67 सर्टिफाइड है और यहाँ आपको 8 years या 1,60,000 किलोमीटर्स की वारंटी मिलती है, while the vehicle comes with 3 years और 1,25,000 kilometers warranty।
And with that done, let's get behind the wheel now। So finally behind the wheel of the Tata Punch.ev, and first impressions, it feels quite a lot different from the regular Tata Punch, of course because it's electric, but just the way the power delivery progresses, it's very linear, and in the eco mode you will be doing easily, most of your commute in the city because it will give you maximum of that 421 kilometers of range. Yes, it is quite efficient because I have been driving it for the last 45-50 minutes and I have dropped down just about 4 to 5% of charge so far. So I think रेंज एंजाइटी को टैकल करने के लिए ये मेरे लिए एक अच्छा सिचुएशन है. बट जस्ट स्विच टू सिटी मोड एंड हियर आउट ऑन द हाईवे it feels very progressive, and as far as you are cruising, you have got just the right power at your disposal. It feels quite meaty and not underpowered by any stretch of the imagination, even in the city mode itself. And quite obviously, if you want more thrust from that electric motor, switch to sport and it really takes off. So yes, power delivery here again gets aggressive, and making overtakes is quite easy out here on the highway. And we have a lovely stretch of highway. This is the Bangalore-Hyderabad Expressway. I think the perfect testbed for me to test the credentials of the Tata Punch.ev. But yes, performance में आप काफ़ी satisfied रहने वाले हैं with the Tata Punch.ev, and I think it really builds up on the reputation of the Nexon EV there. So behind the wheel, you will be content and you will be again having fun as well.
What's also reassuring कि Tata Punch.ev के टॉप वेरिएंट्स में आपको फ्रंट एंड रेयर दोनों जगह में डिस्क ब्रेक्स मिलते हैं. So good bites from the brakes, and it does feel more progressive and reassuring when it comes to high speed braking. And you have paddle shifters as well for regen, which works well. और आप ट्रैफिक में आराम से 15 से 20 किलोमीटर ऐड कर सकते हो, and it makes single pedal driving quite a breeze.
And now coming to ride and handling. अब राइड क्वालिटी आपको Tata Punch.ev की नॉर्मल रेगुलर पंच से थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा स्टिफ लगेगी. I think that's because it's a bit heavier and suspension has been tuned just to tackle and manage that weight. So उसके लिए आपको ये गाड़ी थोड़ी सी स्टिफ लग सकती है in terms of ride quality, but at no point it gets jarring or unnerving because it takes majority of the potholes or rough surface very well in its stride. आपको बहुत ज़्यादा vertical movements cabin में नहीं होते, थोड़े बहुत होते हैं when you face a really bad section of road, and even the lateral movements are contained. But what is more comfortable for me here are the seats, the very seats themselves. Tata Punch always had good seats, very comfortable, good bolstering, but this one just feels a notch better. I have good side support and I have good under thigh support, and the cushioning is very well balanced. It's not too firm, not too soft. So I think I can easily manage my long distance commute in the Tata Punch.ev. And even अगर मैं Bangalore के traffic में फंस गया हूँ and I am spending more hours in the car, I will be reasonably comfortable there.
And last but not the least, handling isn't bad either. We took it to the beautiful Nandi Hills, testing it on twisties, and honestly it was quite fun. Shorter footprint means it's easy to chuck it around corners, और body rolls भी ज़्यादा परेशान नहीं करते as far as you are doing reasonably good double digit speeds. It's only when you push it near or over 100 km/h you will need to release the accelerator, because passengers will feel sharp lateral movements and the car will understeer. So the Punch.ev handles decent enough for me, just that the steering wheel, which weighs up nicely at higher speeds, ये ज़्यादा ही stiff हो जाती है and the heft feels artificial. So pointing it to a certain direction or changing lanes at higher speed will require more muscle effort. And since we also had a chance to test its performance on a go-kart track and off-road section, I think the feedback remained similar. Track pay while going around corners and cones, it maintained its composure at double-digit speeds, but ज़्यादा aggressively push करने पे understeer के chances बढ़ जाते थे. That said, it pleasantly surprised us while off-roading. Now the Punch.ev has 190mm of ground clearance and 350mm of water wading capacity, जिसका मतलब ये ठीक ठाक deep water logging और rough surface handle कर लेती है. And then, with 19° approach angle, 28° departure angle and 15.1° ramp angle, you don't worry about scraping its nose, rear or underbody even on decently steep climbs or dips. But what impressed me more, with the electric powertrain आपके लिए steady momentum बनाना काफी easy हो जाता है जब आप uphill जा रहे हो या surface traction थोड़ा loose हो. And obviously, you have hill descent control supporting you while you are going downhill. And finally coming to the prices. Range for Tata Punch.ev begins at 10,99,000 rupees for the base standard range smart variant and goes up to 13,29,000 rupees for the top end empowered plus trim. Long range iteration mid spec adventure variant से available है and it starts at 12,99,000 rupees going up to 14,49,000 rupees for the top end empowered plus trim.
So what's the Park Plus verdict? अब देखिए टाटा Punch.ev के लिए जो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज है that is to live up to the expectation of the Nexon EV and to build up on that strength. And I'm happy to report that it has got quite the credentials with all the bells and whistles and premium appeal packed in and at that interesting price point. So I think Tata has got that game pretty much sorted here. And if you're out in the market to shop for an EV under the 16 lakh price bracket, this could be one of your worthy considerations. I'm Shubha Parasha, you're watching Park Plus, your car app. To subscribe to the channel, do hit the bell icon to stay notified and to head to the app for all the updates in the Indian car bazaar. I'll see you soon in the next video.